Well, I've just received news right now that the schedule has changed a little bit. So let me introduce you to our guest, who is our honoured guest, as I said. And she's the founder and patron of the Tobeka Madiba Zuma Foundation, which she conceptualized in 2009 and established in 2010. She's also one of the patrons of the Cancer and Pila Ma in the KwaZulu-Natal area and former chairperson of the Forum of African First Ladies Against Breast Cancer and Cervical Cancer. Please welcome the First Lady, Madam Tobeka Madiba Zuma. Please enter, ma'am. There she is. Great to have you here. Good morning, madam.
Wonderful.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Lovely, lovely to have you here. Now, you're involved in many initiatives that concern the health of women, and I know that you're also involved in the establishment of the Take a Girl Child to Work Day. Tell me about how that idea came about and what the idea was.
Wonderful. I think for me, the important thing is that we need to have the female population healthy.
Yes.
And we cannot afford to have the diseases of lifestyle threatening their lives. Hence, I chose to then champion the cause and highlight the risk factors, which are fortunately modifiable. They are within our means to modify and change and make lifestyle choices that will see us living healthy and longer.
Yes. And so in your work, what have you found as some of the discrepancies? What can we as a nation do better in order to help this cause?
I think as a nation, we need to get together. It's a collective effort to deal with the issue of cancer, breast cancer and cervical cancer. We need to join the forces, because as much as government is the custodian of the lives of its people, but we need to assist the government in the struggle or the fight against breast and cervical cancer. We know that there are NGOs that are already doing the work, and they've done very well, but the challenge is that women are still divided, not only economically, but they're still divided geographically, which places the women in the rural areas at a disadvantaged position of not being able to access healthcare and access it on time, because we know that early detection does save lives. And for me, I think it's important to know that cancer is not a death sentence. It's curable, but also preventable. And it's also a disease which you need to really change your lifestyle in order to eliminate all these risk factors, some of which include smoking. We know that smoking does not add value. Definitely. But we still smoke. And excessive intake of alcohol is also a big problem because it places our lives at risk. Lack of exercise. We need to exercise at least 30 minutes, 5 days a week, minimum 3 days a week. And we know that we need to eat healthy, but we still don't. And excess weight is a problem as well. It places our lives at risk.
Now, a large part of this is also, I think, access to information. I think what you've just said now adds a great deal to people knowing exactly what the risk factors are and how to handle them. What else is being done out there by government and organizations to make sure that those that need the information have it?
Education, education, education. I always call for education. We need to educate our people through materials that are developed in local languages that people would understand. And also for government, I think the responsibility is more on ensuring that women have access to healthcare. It's their human right. It's a basic human right, which they voted for. So they need to scale up access, because in the rural areas, access is still very limited. But also to be strong on prevention. I can't stress the importance of prevention being better than cure. And also once the education has been, the health literacy has been increased, we know that we'll be creating demand for these health services. So when women go to clinics and healthcare settings, they need to be able to access these services. But it doesn't stop there. Once the woman has been suspected to have cancer, she needs to be sent through for further investigation in the healthcare settings that have got oncology units, for instance. And we know that at this point in time, it takes longer for women to go and be further investigated, to do biopsy or whatever else that they need to do. But for me, we also still need to shorten the period of treatment. Once a woman is diagnosed, she needs to be put on treatment. Currently, women wait as long as 6 months before they are put on treatment. Yes. And that, for me, that window period, waiting, because they're already presenting late with the disease, it's too long to get the women on treatment. So I think our government needs to try and have more hospitals that are tertiary hospitals that have got oncology units, so that women are diagnosed, treated, but being strong, as I said again, on prevention methods, on highlighting the benefits of eating healthy, exercising, and what have you. And I think that's where I see the gaps, and the foundation playing a meaningful role in ensuring that those NGOs that are already working on the grassroots, they're capacitated so that they expand the coverage and women do have access to healthcare, which is equitable. Yeah.
Now, you received a special award from the UN in honor of the tireless work that you've done in many causes like this. What has that award meant for you, and what have you been able to do with that honor and the context you've built up through that?
I think for me the award was not only mine. It was for the African First Ladies that we worked tirelessly with to ensure that we mobilize for political will from the heads of state, because we know that without the political will, we wouldn't win the struggle against breast and cervical cancer. So for me, it was a reaffirmation, basically, that we were on the right track, but we're not there yet. There is still a lot of work to be done, and we need to really go out there and spread the message that early detection saves lives, and we need to take charge of our health, because women tend to put themselves last on the list. I'm not too sure why, but we do. And yet we are cornerstones of our homes. And it's very important to have women healthy, playing a meaningful role in the economic growth of our country.
Tell me about the support aspect of this, because obviously I think it plays quite an important role, where family members and friends and those that are involved in your life play a support role in your life. How do we support those that are affected?
It's very important to support those that are already affected by the disease, because you need all the support that you can get. And I think for me it's important that we don't only educate women, we educate those that are in her environment as well, and that they are empowered with the knowledge that in the event they get one of their family members directly affected by the disease, they're able to provide that emotional support. And you know, it takes a woman to be in the right frame of mind before they even started on the treatment, because you need to have your emotional being in the right place. You need to have your physical being in the right place. We know that chemotherapy has got its own side effects and what have you, so you need to really have all the support that you can get in order to be able to fight the disease.
Well, Madam, thank you so much for joining us. We are honoured to have you in our presence today, and we look forward to cooking with you in the kitchen a bit later on.
Absolutely.
It's going to be absolutely exciting. Stay tuned for that. You can't miss that. Right now, as I said earlier on, Liesl and Leanne are standing by. We're talking all about breast cancer awareness.